They said the restraints were for our safety. But whose safety did they mean? We escaped to the holding room, but not the experiment. Every breath feels borrowed, every shadow watches back. And in this room, the walls remember more than we do. This is episode 3 of the Psychic Odyssey, The Trappist Enigma, also known as The Awakening. Episode 3, The Archive. The heavy rumbling of the massive obsidian block stilled, but the memory of its chaos clung to the air like smoke after fire. I stumbled back, my body betraying me with a shudder that rippled from gut to fingertips. It could have crushed us, smeared us into nothing but dark stains on this sterile floor. The thought carved an acid trail down my throat, thickening it to silence. Around me, Emil, John, Kathy, and Sarah scrambled to get upright, their movements frantic, twitchy, half-formed, as if the strings that animated them had frayed. Their faces twitched, mid-motion, caught between panic and something worse. Their mouths opened wide, yet no sound emerged, leaving only the wet, animal stink of our terror, thickening the room with sweat, bleach, and the sharp metallic tang of fear woven into a suffocating fog. I dared to glance back at the ominous block. It hung there, humming. The obsidian block didn't just hum, it breathed, then pulsed. Faint sparks licked along its surface, shifting, flickering, like the heartbeat of something far too large to understand. Strange symbols, fractured hieroglyphs, etched by a madman's hand, writhed along its edges, flashing in a sickly gray light. The symbols raced along the surface, wrong angles, broken patterns that twitched at the edge of sight. They weren't just symbols. They were moving inside my mind, carving grooves I couldn't erase. A hard, thunderous pulse. A heartbeat stuttering like a hangman's last gasp. The block pulsed a slow, sick rhythm. My teeth rattled like a glass in a bone cathedral. With each throb, the symbols burrowed deeper, etching themselves into my optic nerves. They weren't just writing, they were rewriting. Then it spoke, not in sound, in scars. Look, it hissed. A voice like a scalpel sliding between vertebrae. My vision blurred at the edges, the symbols writhing like insects under glass. They weren't just etched into the stone. They were etching themselves into me. Something inside me stirred. This unusual feeling coursed through me, cold and hot at the same time. As I touched the obsidian block, fragmented visions bombarded my mind. Not just of the hostile hospital bed with its bulky restraints, but of the past, my past, with all of its failures. Oh, I wish I heard the mellow voice of my father saying, "How's Daddy's baby girl?" with a dashing smile as he brushed his index finger to my nose. But what did I hear? The echo of my mom's shrill, screaming at me. "Keep it to yourself!" The block showed me the funeral again, but wrong. Mother's corpse sat up in the coffin, her milky eyes fixed on me. "You knew," she mouthed. "You let me." The block, hard, prickly, and warming. It isn't just warm, it's feverish, pulsing like a living organ. Another blood-curdling pulse. hard. It didn't help. They burned behind my eyelids. The symbols reminded me of my old archaeology class, where they'd whispered of languages not meant for human tongues. Egyptian glyphs. Yes, these were wrong, unnatural. Its angles fought against the eye. They spun, dissolved, reformed languages not meant for human eyes. Glyphs that didn't just describe reality, but rewrote it. This was that. The shiver cut down my spine, not cold, deeper, like someone dropped ice directly into my blood. Don't stare, a voice whispered in my head. It sees you back. I couldn't look away, couldn't even blink. It was alive, watching, judging. What was its purpose? I wiped blood from my nose, didn't remember it starting. A wrench of dread tightened in my gut, cold and serrated, slicing away rational thought. My legs trembled, quaking like reeds in a storm. The logical part of me, the tiny surviving ember, tried to reason. Maybe the block held answers. Maybe it was a key, a map, salvation. Maybe it was a loaded gun pressed against our skulls. Look, the block hissed at me. Did the others hear it? Am I losing my mind? I glimpsed, my arms and the hands that touched the block. My arms still bore the black bruises from the injections, tiny blooms of violet and sickly yellow across my skin. My wrist ached from the too tight restraints, evidence that whoever had dragged us here didn't care if we lived through this, only that we served some purpose. Was there a way to speak to it, to open it? Or were we already trapped inside whatever ritual had begun? The way insects thrash inside a spider's web, doomed long before the fangs descend. Kathy, Emile, John, and Sarah stood slack-jawed, now eyes vacant, trembling, their expressions had flattened, drained of self. Yet there's something invisible slipped into their minds. Though if the rest of us weren't watching, were they hypnotized? Why wasn't I? Sudden monstrous blare tore through the space, a deafening bass note that shattered thought. I clapped my hands to hear my ears. Pain lanced through my skull, the pressure rupturing the thin membrane of balance inside my head. The world swam sideways. The air became thick, gelatinous, sticky in my throat. Then a blast of searing white light. It rippled from the block in a wave, flattening the air, buffeting through my hair, across my face. A low gut. If this is your first time with us, the story begins episode 1, Lost in the Labyrinth. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens when they leave this room and enter the next. Share it with a friend. Never be afraid by yourself. And if anything else, you can always use them as a meat shield.